in Iran. 5 student groups and a conservative clerical group are looking for volunteers for suicide bombings in Israel, and they're asking the Iranian government for permission to do it. Now, so far, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and his government have avoided responding, typical for this kind of request from radical groups. But Ahmadinejad is speaking to Arab nations. He's criticizing them for not doing more to stick up for Hamas. He stopped short of pushing for specific actions, but said making speeches is not enough. Well, let's bring in Bud McFarland. He was the National Security Advisor for President Reagan from 1983 to 1985. Thank you so much for being with us. The Iranians have a long and distinguished history of suicide bombings and backing suicide bombers dating back to your days. In the early 1980s, the Marine Corps barracks bombing in Beirut by Hezbollah, their proxy. Do you think that this threat is real or rhetoric?
Well, I don't put much store behind the volunteer seeking to commit suicide bombing in Iran. They've done that before. However, I am pleased, Greg, to see finally Iran getting some attention, because clearly we wouldn't be seeing the violence in Gaza today or previously by Hezbollah in Lebanon without the approval and support of Iran. Iran is using its proxies in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza to create violence and in the process take away global attention from its own nuclear program. Iran's the problem child, the poster child of violence in the Middle East. And it's there that the United States and our allies have to focus our attention in the months and years ahead.
You know, doublespeak, as you well know, in that region of the world is endemic. Arab and Muslim nations over the last several days have been publicly condemning the military offensive by Israel. Do you think, in truth, they privately welcome it, especially countries like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan, which indeed fear the growing influence of Iran?
I think that you're right about that. Today, there are also reports that the eastern provinces in Saudi Arabia, the Shiite provinces, are protesting in support of Hamas. This is an area where much of Saudi Arabia's oil is produced, and unrest there could destabilize the kingdom. So Saudi Arabia has good reason to be concerned about Iran stirring up trouble through its proxies wherever they are, be it in eastern provinces of Saudi, Lebanon, or Hamas. But again, back to what Iran is doing, not only supporting terrorism, but launching its own nuclear program, which analysts say could be successful in producing a bomb within a year's time, perhaps less. Again, supporting terrorists, and finally denying the very legitimacy of Israel as a nation state. This is a country that is really a center of trouble, mischief, violence throughout the Middle East.
Bud McFarland, thank you so much for being with us. We appreciate your insights as always. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.